for another team profile and projection. It is the last episode, 30 out of 30. The Los Angeles Dodgers of Anaheim were voted the number one team in baseball. Deservedly so. Vegas has their over-under 5 wins higher than the second team. So I think this was a no-brainer decision. Excited to see if we find ourselves in any conversations that we didn't think we would have. Dodgers won the World Series last year. They were very good. Jake, how is this team different?
Fellas, they lost a couple mainstays from this Dodgers run that's either just starting or we're in the middle in. We're not sure. But, man, Jock Peterson, young Jock is gone. He's a Cubby now. You know the platoon splits. He's been a big part.
Good as a Cub.
Big part of this run. He likes that blue. Kike Hernandez looks good not wearing blue or anything else. He is now a Red Sox. Good for him. And then a couple hurlers, man. Alex Wood throwing a lot of innings for them. Pedro Baez, a lot of good, a lot of bad for Dodger fans in their memory banks at least. Jake McGee found something for them. He's on the Mets. Wow. Kalarick coming from that gross arm angle. He is now in Oakland A's. And Dylan Floro is a fish. How about that? Chop that quote up. Who they added, man, I'll crescendo it. Tommy Kahnle out for the year. He'll be an impact piece the next season. Sheldon Noisy, some people are calling him the next righty Max Muncy. We'll see. We'll come in with lower expectations than that. Garrett Clev, Corey Evil Knievel. Watch out for him in the bullpen. He's got some gross on him. And speaking of, how about Trevor Bauer? Add him to the rotation. Could have been one of the best rotations in baseball without him. How about we add the Cy Young, local Cali boy? Speaking of Cali boys, Trev, you tell me about some of these hitters. I think they do well on that side of the ball, too.
There is not a hole. This organization has no holes. We usually talk about lineups or rotations or bullpen, defense. They don't have holes, and they have depth. We'll start out with the starting lineup. Catching, we're going to have Will Smith. Platooning a little bit with Austin Barnes, but last year he had a 980 OPS from the catcher's position. Remember that. First base, our guy Max Muncy struggled a little bit last year, then turned it on in the playoffs. Had a 438 OBP in the playoffs. Jake, is that good?
It's not bad.
Second base, we got our guy Chris Taylor. Shortstop, we all know him, Corey Seager, the NLCS and World Series MVP. Some say he's the best shortstop in the game right now. Look out. Third base, they re-signed our guy, Justin Turner, 2 years, $32 million to bring him back. We talk about this all the time. He's sneaky one of the better third basemen in the league the last 10 years. Like top 5 in a golden era of third baseman. Left field, they got A.J. Pollock, our guy. Cody Bellinger in center field. He's pretty good. In right field, oh yeah, they got Mookie. There's no holes in this lineup. They have other guys too. Edwin Rios. Is he going to play a little bit of left field this year? I don't know. He played 1 inning in left field in 2019. The bottom line is these guys got depth in the lineup. Jim, talk about the rotation and how much depth they got there.
Yeah, well, Jake hinted at it a little bit. They added a guy named Trevor Bauer. They still have Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias. David Price coming back, sat last year out, watched him get a ring, says, oh, shit, that looked like it might have been fun. So he's coming back. I mean, they even got, I didn't say Dustin May. I didn't say his name.
Say Dustin May.
I didn't say, who else didn't I say? Gonsolin.
Catterday.
In the bullpen, they got Kenley. They said he's going to get a chance to close still out of the season, so that's how much wiggle room this team has. They're like, you know what? We know he's not going to last, and we know that he's not going to be our closer, but fuck it. We're going to give him a month. Probably the wrong move, but who cares? Blake Trinan, Victor Gonzalez, World Series stud. And I mean, is Dustin May technically back there if he's not in the rotation? He's not going to be like in AAA, right? Same with Gonsolin.
Jim, what you stumbled into is they can do whatever the hell they want. If you want,
And I didn't even say Gratterall or Joe Kelly or whatever. So, yeah, they just got a ton of pitchers. They have the type of rotation and bullpen mix that I wished the Yankees had, and I think is the best way to go, is where you have extra starters. Or, yeah, they'll just go be your mop-up guy or your bulk guy if the guy gets in trouble to start the season. And they don't need to go to AAA to, like, stay loose or build up. No, we're fine. And then they have, you know, the 1-inning, 2-inning guys at the back end as well that can just shut the door. So,
yeah, John, I don't normally speak for the 29 other fan bases, but I think they'd also want their rotation built like this. So I don't think that's just a Yankee fan want. I think that's every other team in the league.
well, the bullpen,
Yeah, I mean,
too,
look-
you know, it's crazy.
If you took,
Their mop-up guys
Urias-
are stud 6 starters.
that's what I'm saying, Urias, Gonsolin, and May, you go put them on another team, I mean, those guys are going to be close to the top of a rotation.
Yeah.
For most teams.
And teams are going to be excited about it.
Yeah.
Trev, you've been juiced out about him, and I think my best way to phrase it, because we're all saying the same thing, but if Dustin May was locked in as the 3 or 4 starter on another team, we would probably be doing a 5-minute segment on him and be like, watch out for this guy. If it clicks, you're looking at a potential all-star. Maybe this guy gets Cy Young votes, and for the Dodgers, he's going to be fighting for innings. So that's man, they have built something there organizationally. Thankful to Trevor Plouffe, who they considered hiring once briefly. So good job, Trev.
I was there. Yeah, I don't know. There's I don't know where to even go with this team. They're really good. They're on paper, they're better than any other team. Our fans did a great job.
Walker Buehler's having a tough spring. Almost as like tough as it gets. And he's had to answer a lot because the velocity's down and the results are horrid.
Don't like that.
He says that, you know, the velocity's working his way back up, but he's having such a bad spring that it is kind of like you look at
It's
it
on your radar?
You look at it sideways, like what's going on here?
Now I have to look. I haven't looked at his spring numbers. I'm going now.
15 earned runs in 17 innings with 26 hits and 6 home runs. It's
Not great, Walker.
a one
Not
and
great.
yeah, they're not good.
You know what? If he comes out for the 3rd start of the season and he drops 5 innings shutty, that goes away instantly. It's something to watch.
It can
I'd
go-
watch
it
his
can-
last
it
start in
can-
spring training.
Yeah, his last start of spring training can go away instantly.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, when you Google what's going on there, it is. Dude, how come with Rios? Is he just going to be like. Rios hits the ball so hard. He's the 2nd on the team in like barrel percentage, and he's like top 4 for like hard hit rate and all this. Like, wait, he just doesn't have a role.
Yeah, I mean, I
Wish there was a DH.
You know, you see it with a lot of teams now. Yeah, I mean, God, if this team, and hey, maybe we'll get a DH right before opening day. Wouldn't that be a hell of a splat?
Splat.
Yeah, you know, baseball finds a way, and the guys on this bench, Chris Taylor, Edwin Rios, Matt Beatty, they're going to find a way to play, whether it's injuries or, you know, we've seen them do platoon stuff. I mean, A.J. Pollock, our guy, Connecticut, reppin', broke Trevor's forearm. You know, he was kind of in a platoon for a little bit, and then he found a way to get at bats. And, hey, if we're playing NL baseball this year, we're going to have pinch hitters, and we're going to have all that. So these Dodgers guys are going to play. You know, we'll see how much the Gavin Lux show can finally take off. But, yeah, man, this is a bad team to go on a slump on.
Yeah,
Someone's coming.
Yeah, you got replacements left and right. Hey, how about this, Trev? If they didn't win last year, I mean, you'd be looking at the payroll and who potentially is leaving this year, and you'd be screaming, oh, my God, if we don't win this year, like we missed our window, because Kershaw, he's a free agent. Oh, I mean, I'd guess he'd be back, but he's a free agent. Seager, he's a free agent. Chris Taylor's gone. There's still a young core. Kershaw and Seager were the 2 that I was like really looking at. And Turner they re-added, but interesting to see how those guys play and where they end up after the year. But I mean, I think the Dodgers gotta win this year, because last year's title doesn't count. We all agree, right?
Ooh. What needs to happen? What needs to happen?
I want to make
for
an
this
amendment
team?
to my starting lineup because Dodger fans are going to come at me. Like Gavin Lux, we know, like, is he going to be this opening day starter? Well, no, we know he's going to play some second base.
He's having a great
I think I had Chris
spring,
the other day.
and I think he is, and we like him a lot.
And he's, top prospect, good ball player, could be a great ball player. Just another depth piece for them, like I said. It's the list goes on and on, my man.
Goes on and on. Now, what does this team need to do to be sellers at the deadline? Nothing. No.
I was gonna make a joke that shouldn't be made.
Okay. Yeah, man. I made a joke in one of my list videos, like if Gavin Lux or Chris Taylor had second base for the full year, they'd be a top 10 second baseman. Instead, they're probably gonna have to share.
Gavin Lux has to prove it still, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, when we talk in the realm of prospects, like this guy was he number 1 year? Like he's supposed to be as real as it gets. So
He had like such good odds to win Rookie of the Year last year.
That's crazy.
He did.
I don't know, man. It feels like we almost have to go to negative town a little bit just for the scope of this team, because it's almost like what needs to happen for the Padres to come into play. Like what it's almost for every other team, it's been what goes right. For this team, it's almost like what has to go wrong for them not to be at least playing in the NLCS. Like, I mean, if this team doesn't get to the World Series, it's a bad year for them. Which is crazy in baseball.
I mean, you want me to go through the rotation and give you like everyone's worst year? Like, what if they had that?
It would have to be injury based, and I do not want to talk about that on a pod like this. You can't ever.
What if Clayton Kershaw has a 3.05 ERA, worst of his career since his rookie season?
Only wins 19.
That's another baseball
games.
reference page that just is eye opening.
Stupid. I mean, well, what if Bauer isn't allowed the sticky stuff and he returns to like, past season Bauer's, where his RPM shit was down a lot?
He's their third starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing that can go wrong. This team's going to be in the playoffs. The only thing that can go wrong for them is they get beat in a series, and that can happen. We all know baseball.
Yeah,
like in
that's
those
true.
5-game series, 7-game series, a team takes a win away, or you make some defensive miscues. You steal a game there.
They were down 3-1
almost
to the
did last
Braves.
year.
Yeah, they were down.
Exactly. It almost happened last year. The playoffs are an inevitability for them. They're going to be there, which is what most teams want. But the difference between the Dodgers and most teams is when they get to the playoffs, they're not only set up for a regular season. I mean, they are set up for a postseason run, and all of these guys have crazy amounts of playoff experience. So there's no like getting used to it. They expect to be there. They know how to handle themselves. They have everything going for them. If they don't win the World Series this year, I mean, it's a huge disappointment. And how many teams can you truly say that about in this league? Probably one.
This year it's one. Man, I want to jump to a guy, and I know we're a little all over the map because I think we just kind of got punched in the face by this roster. I think I want to go to the guy that might be the most underrated player on this team, that might be the best. At the end of this season, he could also be the best player at his position, so I'm not referencing Mookie. Guys, Will Smith at the catcher position. So, 2019 was his rookie year. He only played 54 games with a 907 OPS. Not bad. Last year, so shortened season, he played 37 games, 289 batting average, 401 on base, and a 980 OPS. This guy is going into his age 26 season as a catcher. Like, if he does this for a full season, so far in Major League Baseball, he's got a 937 OPS. 147 OPS plus. Like, if this dude gets a full year behind the dish in 130 games, like, he could be on Real Muto's butt.
I think he's already on.
No, Trev. He's only played 91 games. He only played
91 games. If he plays them like that, he's there.
I don't like to give people credit until they really do something. But when you watch this guy hit and the at-bats that he takes, I mean, it's obvious that he's got a feel for the offensive side. I honestly don't know his defensive stats and how good he is, because I think Real Muto does both things great.
Yeah.
So I'll walk it back a little bit. He's not close to Real Muto yet because he does have to prove it a little more. But you're right, Jake. We could, at the end of the season, we could be looking up at him and being like, "Wow, he won a Silver Slugger."
Yeah.
He's a guy like that. And to have more offensive firepower, the Dodgers don't need that. They could have the most defensive-minded catcher, and it might even suit them better. But to have another guy with a 900 OPS in the lineup, it's just a joke. It's a joke.
Do you
He's
think
good defensively? I'm looking at his numbers. He's fine.
Yeah.
Are they going to play better competition this year?
Ooh.
The Padres got better. They don't get to play only West Coast teams in the regular season. They're so much better than everyone that does that matter at all.
There's like, on a given day, there's, I don't know, 4 teams who it matters if they're playing. Like if Houston's good, it's an interleague matchup. I don't know, man. No.
They open up Rockies, A's, Nationals, Rockies, Padres, Mariners, Padres, Reds, Brewers. So those Padres games, we talked about this in the Padres. I'm rooting for the Padres to make it close. But yeah, it's fun to follow the storylines day in, day out of a team and who's working and who's not, and the injuries and all that. But like, they're going to be in the postseason. So who could be a big surprise? We haven't really said Mookie Betts' name yet.
He's good.
And he's one of the best players ever. Bellinger, is he recovering from his shoulder? He's good now.
He's fantastic.
He's the best. Who could be a big surprise? It's Gavin Lux, right? Like he could, like if he cements himself.
If he's real.
I guess if Will Smith continues to do that, then he would be like, like he's really cementing himself. I don't know. Like, is there any other surprises? We're so familiar with this team. They've been in the postseason for like 8 years in a row. You know how many postseason at bats Justin Turner has?
It's a lot.
1,000.
Not 1,000.
Felt high.
Yeah. Quarter of that.
400.
314 plate appearances. 268 at bats. 72 postseason games. Guess his slash line, or do you want me to just tell you?
Tell me.
72 postseason games for Justin Turner. His slash line is a 295 batting average, a 392 on base percentage.
Wow.
507 slugging, and 899 OPS. Numbers are supposed to go down in the postseason, Trev, because you start facing like the best of the best. You have your players that can mash regular season pitching. Nick Swisher was a good guy. Beat up on a lot of pitchers, get to the postseason, get a little overmatched, have his moments. Turner's better?
Yeah, man. I mean, that Dodgers infield, people are talking. BBD ad. Going around this team, Will Smith, you're talking about a top 3, top 5 catcher, however you want to label it. Max Muncy, go check the numbers. That dude's been a top 3 first baseman for the past 3 years or so. Second base, we just talked about a little bit. Let's see if Lux is there. If not, guess what? Chris Taylor's been a monster whenever he plays. They're going to be okay there. Shortstop, Seager. How's your World Series MVP? How's your burger? Justin Turner, you just did that, Jim. How about we haven't even mentioned Cody Bellinger. This website has him batting 6th. He's a freak in the outfield and at the plate. Mookie Betts, I missed him. Oops.
Well, here's the real.
And then I was going to say, Jim, AJ Pollock in left field. It's 33 now. We'll see. Like I mentioned, he was in the platoon. And like where you started was Edwin Rios. I bet that's a big conversation in Dodgerland. Like the playoffs could come and maybe Edwin Rios is mashing off righty. So, okay, there's your left fielder for the day. Like they're freaks.
Okay. With Tatis, with Snell, with Darvish, we mentioned this. with the Dodgers finally winning one, do they become unlikable?
Ooh.
The Dodgers?
Yeah.
They already, just because they're
Bauer's
LA,
got a lot of
already-
haters.
Yes. Bauer's going to add to that. But you
I always
almost have
thought
to
they were
respect
fun.
what
I
they've
always
done.
thought they were fun, though. The team, I like all the guys we named. I like Justin Turner's fun.
Yeah.
Muncie's fun. Bellinger's fun. Got memes about being high all the time. Mookie, very hard to actually dislike Mookie besides when he kills your team. Like, as a Yankees fan, very hard to dislike Mookie. But maybe now that they've won, they become public enemy.
I just don't know. You have to respect what they've done. And, we talked about, is it going to be boring for Dodger fans during the regular season? Because, it's like, you're going to be in the postseason. It's almost like when you talk to Patriots fans, they're like, okay, yeah, sweet. You beat us in October or November or whatever. Like, we don't care. Like, all they care about is the postseason. Let's get to the playoffs and see what happens. That's what you're going to do here. And I referenced like the amount of games and how comfortable they are. They almost got beat last year, 3-1 deficit. But that's where the experience comes in. I'm sure JT called everyone aside and said, hey, guys, we're going to win the World Series. Like, let's go do it. Like, that sort of leadership and the experience is it helps so much. And they just piled on more last year and more. And it's hard to envision. It's going to take an amazing series from the Braves or the Padres or, maybe, I don't know, whoever else. An amazing series for them and a poor series for the Dodgers. Like a poor series for the Dodgers for them to not be in the World Series again.
Cody Bellinger's still got 3 options left. Projected for 40 homers and 15 steals. Jim, I do where you went with that, and what I like is the Padres are so beloved, and we talked about, is there going to be some shine rubbing off of them? If the first Padres-Dodgers matchup, and maybe the Dodgers are throwing balls at their head, or maybe Bauer does something, and that makes the Padres more beloved, like they go full America's sweetheart again, then the Dodgers would be the bad guy if everyone's rooting Padres.
A lot of people don't like Bauer, so they have that going against them.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. If the Padres can grab some more hearts, that means there's one bad guy in their way.
Tommy Pham should hit a one-eyed home run off Bauer. That'd be badass.
One-eyed at bat.
Stab himself in the eye, hit a homer.
I will say this about Bauer.
Yes.
He's been on the Reds and he's been on the Indians. Okay, there's been some stars. There's been some stars on the team. From all accounts, what I've heard is they're going to let him be himself, and I've heard he is a good teammate. Some people say there's been stuff written that he isn't a great teammate. I've never been his teammate, so I can't really tell. But this is a different type of squad that he's coming over to. Big personalities, like real deal stars of the game. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic's going to shake out throughout the year. Spring training, of course, it's going to be awesome. There's zero pressure. Like I reference all the time. Spring training is just an extended barbecue, basically. You're just having fun playing ball with your boys. Season comes around, some things start to get shaken up. I'm curious to see how that works. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just curious to see how it's going to work. Like, is Justin Turner going to have to take him over to the side and say, hey, man, like we're not about brands here. We're about World Series. I'm curious. Again, I'm going to say this. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I want to see the dynamic throughout a whole season.
I'm interested as well. I think this regular season is going to be kind of a cakewalk. They could have a bad year and win the division, I think, and then turn it on for the postseason. And they've been in the postseason since 2013. So that's when the season starts. Not much else to say. Walker Buehler had a tough spring.
You think Walker Buehler cares?
No. We talked to him.
Knowing him, we interviewed him, obviously. Shout out. Go check out that old pod we did. The guy is locked in. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he would have some pretty good one-liners for us right now if he knew we were talking about his bad spring training. I think
He would.
I think he'd probably stare straight into the camera, kind of have that coy look on his face, and say, well, what about those playoff starts?
Max's fun stat for the Dodgers is the two pitchers with the highest four-seam speeds in MLB in 2020 were both young Dodgers flamethrowers Dustin May and Brusar Graterol, 23 and 22 years old, respectively. Brusar's a star. Get him in the closer position. Is that even going to happen? Because it needs to. Dude's a closer.
They do whatever they want. They put Urias back in the pen, and he just did 3-inning saves. They got trick shots. The Dodgers have trick shots if they want them.
And I think they just hired Dontrell Willis, just so you know, just to be an
Ooh.
advisor. So
Just for fun?
Just for fun.
just for fun.
Damn.
Because it's cool.
The DraftKings over-under is 101.5 games.
Walker Buehler last postseason, 5 starts, 25 innings, a 1.8 ERA.
Oh, no.
By the way. So
Oh, no.
I lean that way over the spring training.
101.5 wins. I'll take the over. I
Over.
think we're looking at a 105-win team here.
I'm just going back to see what the past seasons have been, the past full seasons. 2019, 106 wins.
They didn't have Mookie Betts.
2017.
What they win in 2019?
106.
They didn't have Mookie Betts. They didn't have Trevor Bauer.
Nope.
Who-
Year
who-
before that, 92. Then there was 104, 91, 92. So, this team's obviously different with Mookie and Bauer and all the guys that have came up, the bullpen. I'll go over. This is by far the best team in baseball, and not just on paper. They just are, and they're the best organization in baseball.
They had
They're the
Ryu.
envy of every single organization. This is it.
They
Maybe
had
in professional sports.
They had Ryu 19, and that is a good pitcher, top tier pitcher.
good.
So, but yeah, I think they're better.
Name a better run organization in pro sports of our American sports.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
That might be right. You might
Yeah,
just
that's why I
said.
said it,
I
because
don't
no
know
one
if
can
it
disprove it,
is.
because no one knows about that.
I don't think so, but I like it.
There isn't.
LeBron
There
James.
isn't one. Yeah, LeBron James is
James.
is one. You're right.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
It's
a pretty good
Patriots,
team.
LeBron James, and the Dodgers. That's it.
If there's an injury to the catcher position, watch for Keibert Ruiz, top 100 prospect.
Probably a stud.
Yeah,
We didn't even go through their prospects because we don't even need to talk about.
they almost can. I feel bad for them. And a lot of the guys recently have gotten the call. Josiah Gray, your boy, Trev. Do you know him, or you just seen him and you like the stuff?
I thought it was Josiah Grill.
What?
Okay, he's 2 years
That's not
away.
me. That's not me. That's not
He's
me.
he's a year or two away potentially, and if they want, they'll call him up. I'm sure he's lights out. The other young guys, if we were actually doing that section, would be Gavin Lux. It would be Dustin May. Trev's calling timeout.
I just looked up Josiah Gray on Fangraphs, and they have like a little blurb about the player.
Sure.
It says absolutely stolen from the Reds. Gray is an ultra athletic righty with 3 quality offerings. He uses the pound the zone despite there being some funk to the delivery. Funky delivery, pounds the zone, 3 quality offerings, and they stole them from the Reds. Way to go, Reds.
Yo, who was that reliever that the Dodgers had in spring training? A minor league reliever that was throwing just nasty pitches.
Ooh.
I posted a video of it on
Oh yeah, he was against his own team, right?
no, I think it was like the first game. Ah, shit. Be on the lookout for that dude, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure if I can find
Is
his
it
name.
Pepio?
No.
Pepio?
No, Jake.
He's
no.
got one of the best changeups in the minor leagues.
No, this dude had a hook.
Ooh.
That's who I'm talking about. I saw that one.
Yeah.
This dude had a hook.
Kick him. No, I don't think it was him.
Kick him when he's up. Kick him when he's down.
Michael Bush, second base option. They said his ETA
It was
is
Michael-
2021.
it
He
was-
hasn't played by baseball.
It was Michael Grove was his name. He's only thrown 3 innings. So maybe he's very young.
Deep cuts.
Deep cut, yeah. But, I mean, he pitched the first game for them, I think. It was just, like, nasty. Yeah, he's still in A-ball. Went to West Virginia.
I'm rooting for David Price. Does that need to be said?
You have to have David Price, too.
Why? Why are you rooting for David Price?
Just old man David Price sat out last year.
Price.
He's got a ring, got the money.
He's feeling fresh. He took care of a bunch of minor leaguers last year, if I remember.
Yeah,
David Price comes back. He looks rejuvenated. He's just dropping.
He's got everything he needs in the world. He doesn't need your root.
Just change-ups. Just
hey, that's how I feel about Jeter. Now you're getting it, Jim.
Wow.
Now you're getting it, baby.
Well, I mean, Jeter had like a lot more rings.
Whoa.
Even more so a reason not to root for him. I'm not rooting against David Price.
Sound like you're rooting for him.
If I had to, do a support draft and it was like lottery draft, I wouldn't put a lot of money of my support to Price. I'd go to Lux. I'm rooting for Lux.
Check out our next pod. We're doing a support draft.
If you're Dustin May, when can a player demand a trade?
Dustin May still has to make some changes before anything. I mean, if Dustin May has been given the opportunity to be a starting pitcher, and he will grab it, but he hasn't grabbed it yet, and he could have. He needs a third pitch.
Just saying, if I'm in that bullpen, like get me out. I already got my ring. Let me live.
I mean, yeah,
a lot of people knocking on that door.
I'm hoping Dustin May changes his pitch mix and all that, because he's got the pitch that he throws 51% of the time gets hit. So I don't know, mix it up a little bit or come with a better third pitch. He throws the two seamers like 55% of the time. He's got 272 batting average against and a 320 expected batting average against. So, like, it seems like a very simple change. Like, hey, man, don't throw that pitch as much because you have 5 others.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him make that change. I'm putting some support behind Dustin May.
Okay.
I think he needs it more than Price.
90.2 career innings for Dustin May, a 2.98 ERA. So
pretty good.
We're in the weeds now.
Pretty good. Very good.
Be good, the Dodgers, and maybe lose before the Yankees. Come on.
Dodgers.
When's the last back-to-back champ? It's the Yankees, right?
Yes.
Skanks.
Very hard to repeat in baseball. But the Dodgers are added a Cy Young winner, so.
I got a question for you guys. This is off topic. We're going to run a little longer.
All right. I'll play. I have my button on the music. You ask the question and we'll answer on the outro.
Why is everyone so worried about filling up the innings? We played 60 last year, so we have to figure out how we're going to fill these innings up. We've been playing 162 for 40 years.
Because guys' arms aren't built up.
Why not?
Pitchers are soft.
Because pitchers
They're
are soft.
You had a whole offseason. Build your arm up. Spring training. Build your arm. It's all for you. I don't want to hear that anymore. We play 162 in this league.
Follow Trevor Plouffe.
You wouldn't have to build your at-bats up, Trev. You're good to go.
Good.
Follow Trevor Plouffe on Twitter for more of those takes at BigBabyDavid _
Hey, thank you very much for tuning in every single day with us. We got 2 more episodes every day, episode a day, every day until opening day.
You guys are the best.
So don't go away.